and taking your weight down the front of your leg rather than your feet. Can you find a way?
I'm playing with it. Now that I'm concentrating on it, I'm like, my natural would be, yeah, I'm just there. Whereas...
I wonder if you might be a bit more comfortable doing this if we put your stirrups down a hole.
Do you think?
Just your knees look very close to the front of your knee rolls.
I feel very unbalanced, like while I'm trying to concentrate on everything.
So if I get you to hold, I might get my box again and we'll do some static ones.
Let's give it a go.
Hopefully P won't be too upset by me throwing you about up here.
Okay. Let's put them down and see what we do. This is slowly inching my leg out anyway, at least this hole, so. Jesus. Nearly at the end of my child's stirrups.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Getting too tall.
Right.
Okay, so if you're stacked up in your body, so
Like that. Like that. Okay.
so in here, pushes that thing. So actually a little bit too much. There. Okay? Yeah, if you go too much, your pelvis is going to tilt the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, so while we're stood here, I'm going to hold the front and back of you and do a rise, literally like when you're a kid. And just, can you, so little weight here, engage this so that you're kneeling down. Almost feel like you're kneeling down and you're taking your weight as you're sat here.
Right, okay.
Yeah? I'm going to have to move my box back a bit. Okay, so if I grab your belt loop here and at the front, and I'm sort of gonna, you're very big, I could have done with a bigger box, but go with you, and we want you to come up, so this needs to come like this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah? It's hard when they stand still as well.
Yeah.
On 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? And as we get to the top, I want you to hold it at the top this time. Okay, engage this again because you've lost your back. That's it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still engaged there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This time, as you do that, try not to do this.
Okay.
So it's a.
I have no core.
Yeah, but this is the thighs, so you need to be coming up from the thighs.
Okay.
Rather than using your body to lift you up.
Okay.
Okay, one more time. So
Engage the
down the thighs. Keep your chest in. So chest here.
Yeah. Okay.
Push in. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thighs.
Good. Better. Yeah.
Thighs. Yeah.
Okay.
Thighs.
Push in here.
Yeah.
Go.
Thighs. Thighs.
Keep going again. Yeah. Yeah. Better. Yeah.
There was one with the one with the thighs, one with the thighs and chest, one with the thighs, chest and back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go for that
You
feeling.
have to almost touch them though to engage them.
Yeah.
My
It's
brain's
literally
not
about switching them
connected.
on.
Yeah. My brain doesn't feel like it's connecting to them at all.
Yeah. So Mary does this thing where she goes, "I'm going to go into attack mode," and she'll basically come up to you and sort of go,
Yeah.
and switch on all of the bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so take that feeling up into the trot. So stack yourself up, pelvis, thighs. That's it, really good with back, and then push down and forward into the chest.
Yeah.
That's it. So we're going to go up into the trot, you're going to kneel down your thighs to get the rise, and land in that position every time you land in the thigh. Okay, so good on the landing. So you pushing forward and down into that chest on the up part of your rise. And how is the weight in your stirrup compared to your thigh?
I think it's better.
Yeah?
Still not there, because I feel like my legs feel like my ankles are disconnected, maybe from the longer stirrups as well, but they're probably not very pretty at the moment. But
I think your legs look better.
oh, okay. They feel disconnected to my body.
But do your thighs feel better?
Yes.
Okay.
My thighs are starting to ache actually.
Yeah, that means you're working. Okay, so you look pretty stacked up in your upper body. Pelvis looks good, back looks good, chest looks good. And if you keep thinking about that weight in your thighs and your feet, can you go for a change of rein, keeping all of those bits?
I'll come across.
Okay, so go through your checklist again. Pelvis, chest, back. Good.
Yep.
Can you go a little bit more right heel out? Good. And how much weight is in your feet and your thigh?
I think I'm a little bit uneven on the right, but my left one feels pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
My right one I'm maybe leaning on a little bit.
Leaning more in the thigh or the foot?
The foot.
Okay.
But that's at least keeping it pigeon-toed, so.
Okay, have a little walk.
My bloomin' thighs.
That's it. Give her a little stretch and a long rein because she'll be thinking you're sitting like a lunatic at the moment. And if you want, give your body a little bit of a relax because it'll be quite hard keeping you in that position for the first time. Yeah, so just like engaging and isolating those muscles and using them in a different way.
Yeah. I suppose they use only 20% of that when I'm using everything else, but
yeah,
these are like, feels like I'm using them just them.
Yeah, switched on. Isolating muscles is hard.
Yeah.
Okay, just while you're having a walk and a stretch, I'm just going to talk to you about what we call a bear down. So, if you, we basically want you to be engaged in your core. So we want your whole body to be engaged. We want your upper body to be like a box. So I think I said earlier, as long in the front as it is in the back. We want the left to be the same length as the right. So like a nice square box, or a rectangular box, but everything switched on. If you, as you're walking, just cough and think about when you cough which bit of your body like engages or turns on. Yeah, okay. So basically that feeling is what we call bearing down. And you need to be bearing down when you're riding, as you will. You can ramp it up, you can tone it down, you can aim it places. Some people like to make a push sound. I find when I do a push sound, it brings my shoulders down as well. Or rather than a. So if you make a push sound, tell me where that engages.
More across here, right?
Yeah, lower. And if you just make a higher. Yeah. So these are all things you can play with. So different parts of your bear down. So like when I cough, that engages all of it. A goes to the lower and a goes to the upper. So that's like about switching on your front. And it basically needs to be, imagine if you can create a wall at the front and you want to be pushing against that wall. So don't sort of blow the wall open, but just pushing your inside against that wall so that you always switch on. Yeah?
I definitely thought that I don't use my core enough, I don't think.
Mhm.
And when I consciously use it, I ache the next day. But I thought that maybe keep tensing that, my legs automatically tense, and then I'm a tense rider. So I think I've gone the opposite of you be really floppy on her, and then she's relaxed, and I'm relaxed, and we're all relaxed.
Yeah. So we use a term called stuff.
Okay.
So like we have stuffed riders, so toned riders.
Yeah.
So like you have very good tone in your body. Sometimes you forget about bits.
Yeah.
But some people get just so like blah, 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 that there's no tone at all.
Yeah. I think it's there, but just doesn't get used.
But yeah, the thing is, like, we want our horses to be relaxed. But if you relax too much,
They're not using themselves.
you're not using you. They're not using them. You need to be switched on, but not like you need to isolate the switching on of stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. We are going to go back up into trot in a moment, and just sort of thinking about that when you are in the trot. So just adding in, sort of just notice whether you're switched on, where your bear down is on, or if you need to do a psh or a cough, or just to switch it on. Yeah?
I feel about right there.
Yeah, good. You look really stacked up. That's really good.
We'll start again, like we were know nothing. Right.
Okay, so a little bit more down your thigh if you can. A little bit more heel out this side. And just remember, every time you land, well, there you go, that's better.
Yeah.
You just lost your back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you do a walk transition? Making sure your seat bones stay vertical as you sit and after the walk, and think about stopping our hind legs with your seat bones. Good. Okay, give her a stretch again. How does that feel compared to normal?
It feels really different. Like, I'm having to concentrate quite hard to actually, and then if I concentrate on her, I lose it for a second with me, and then.
Okay, so yeah, lots of little bits, and it's just a case of going through your little checklist and making sure that you've got it.
You have to think about them just to engage them.
Yeah,
otherwise
exactly.
It's just...
And then you engage something else, and that bit's gone out the window. And yeah. Okay, so with your bear down, you can now aim that at her.
Yeah.
So we obviously want them to be sort of like nice and reach in the rein and in our hands and a level contact. If you imagine that your body's a box and you want it to be like a water tank. So so it's full of water, but it can't go anywhere. But the water is up against all the sides of the tank. Yeah?
Okay.
If you imagine there's a little hole at the front of the water tank, from here, from the bottom of your bear down and your lowest bear down.
Yeah.
So when you do that cough or that for the low one, and then imagine there's a little hole in the tank, and you can aim that bear down at her neck, or just in front of the withers, or sort of where your neck strap is, and push her to reach down into the rein, into the contact that you have. Just make sure that you keep the rein contact consistent, so that there's something there to push her into with the bear down.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to have a...
Meanwhile, your legs go and...
Yeah, meanwhile,
maybe
if you
your
could stay stacked up
But-
and moving down your side. Do you want to change the rein? Have a trot the other way. We won't hold it against you.
I think when you're in
keep landing stacked up, think about your back, good. And then can you aim that bear down just in front of your neck strap now? And push it forward. And, you know, let her take the neck forward if she wants to. Good, and a little bit more down your thigh. And just as you're trotting, how far does it feel like you're off the top of your rise? Do you feel like you could go a bit further?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like she could help me out a bit with that.
Well, you're in the lead. So for her to get a little bit better, you have to be a bit better.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to choose that as an option. So can you keep thinking that that rhythm of your rise needs to be the same speed on the way up as it is on the way down? And a little bit heel out this side. That's it. And then aim your bear down just in front of your neck strap.
I know.
It's hard. Good. I feel like you're super good in your back now.
Yeah. My thigh muscles are aching.
Okay, so can you put in a walk transition? So think seat bones, plug in, down, connect to the hind leg, into walk. Engage your back. Good. Okay, give yourself both a little shake. You're tired, you're working hard.
Yeah, my legs are killing.
Can you feel all those little bits though?
Yeah.
Like how they sort of stack up into each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she could help me out a bit by being a little bit.
So you want your, so if your energy in the trot, you would like it, where out of 10, where would you say the energy is in your trot?
Like 6, 7.
Okay, and you'd like it at?
I'd like a little bit more like impulsion so I'm not getting out of breath.
Out of 10, where would you like it to be?
Well, we all want to be a 10. No, like realistically at least 8, 9 kind of. So that she can carry herself. I feel like I'm carrying her a lot.
With your
And trying to
hands or your
concentrate
body?
on me. With my lower body, it's like, come on!
Working hard.
Yeah.
You know, it'll feel really weird for her, you sitting in a completely new way as well,
Yes.
and having to carry you in that sense.
Yeah. I'm not just bambling about in the back of her. She's quite sensitive to it though. With any way I change, she's like, yep, okay. Like I can engage my pelvis a little bit more now, and it's not an immediate stop.
Yeah.
It's a slow up. So she's like, okay.
Yeah, and it's just thinking about sort of like what each leg is doing. It gives her time to think about that,
Yeah.
rather than just kind of fumbling forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to fumble in and out of the transition.
Okay, we're just going to have a tiny look at canter just before we finish. Preferred rein?
Probably the right, but
Okay, let's go on the right rein first then. So all you're going to think about going into your canter is exactly the same as what you've already been doing.
yeah.
Making sure that before you ask for canter, you've got all those bits in place.
Yeah.
And then on the transition, I want you to think about really plugging your seat bones in. So making sure they're vertical, making sure your pelvis is in the right place. And then springing her hind legs into canter. So we don't want her to go any quicker, we just want to change her legs into canter. And I'll leave it to you when you want to do it. Just make sure you've got all your bits in place. Just make sure when you do your chest one that you're not pushing your chest up. It needs to be full, like your chest forward into the resistance. That's it.
I have to imagine your hand there actually.
Yeah, visualise it.
You imagine it all the time.
Oh God.
So right away Jade's hand on my chest. Right.
What an image.
Yeah, but it sticks with you.
It does, yeah, whatever works. That's it. Yeah, so your right, you find it a lot harder to kneel down your right thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My left feels, my left ankle's weaker than my right ankle, so I don't know whether I just use my right ankle
Yeah,
because it's easier, whereas I stay off my left because it's actually harder.
Yeah, probably. And then you're just going to plug your feet bones in on the vertical and spring her hind leg. That's it, and keep your body stacked up. Good. And can you imagine that you've got lead weights in the very back pockets of your trousers? Good. And then ask for trot by plugging your seat bones in, bear down, and then straight into kneel down your thighs and get that rhythm back. A little bit in your back. Good.
Leg.
Down your right thigh. Good. Okay, we'll do one more canter this way. So just prepare yourself. Okay. Yep. She pulled you forward then, you took your upper body. So let's come back to trot. You can do a good trot transition. Okay, so just before you go into canter, think about switching on your bear down and your back. And your back is really key, because if you let go of your back, you're going to tip forward. Let's plug in seat bones. Yeah, good, good. Well held. And can you weight those back pockets? Good. And then ask for trot, plug in. Keep stacked up in your back. Good. Okay, and have a walk, do a proper walk transition.
I feel like jelly when I come back. Like,
let her have a stretch and we'll change the rein. How did that canter feel compared to normal? Slower, faster?
It felt slower actually, yeah. I feel quite bouncy on her, but I think that's because I'm concentrating on so many different things that I feel like I'm like bouncing about in the saddle quite a bit. And then the transition is much the same of like, oh, there's so many things to think about.
So many bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we basically, when we asked to canter, if you're thinking about plugging your seat bones in and springing her hind legs into canter, if you can almost, imagine, so if this is her, it's her back, easy your thighs, can you suction her back up? So you want to be springing her back legs down and suction her back up, which you can only do if you've got both of your thighs snugged on. If you've got one on and one off, you're just going to push it one way. You need to suction her back up. So the hind leg spring and the back sucked up. Okay? Let's go left. It's a lot of information. We're not far off finish, Pete. Promise.
She feels so different though with me bouncing about. She's like, head up, do I stop, do I go? Should I just trot anyway? Because she feels really unbalanced on me right now.
And it's probably a lot of as well, you know, normally you carry her and you hold her and you're like, I've got everything, I'm concentrating. But now you're concentrating on you.
Yeah.
And she's kind of being left to respond to that and choose how to respond. She's going, I've never had to do it on my own before.
That's true actually.
Yeah, why aren't you holding me?
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit in your back. That's it.
Thigh.
Okay, so keep your back engaged on the up part of your rise. That's it, and down your thighs. That's it. And can you spring her hind leg and can you suck her back up? Good, you got it.
She's like, I'm not sure.
So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Good, and then engage your front, do that push sound. That's it. And then after trot, plug in your seat bones, engage your back and kneel down your thighs. Better downwards.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more this way. I actually think this is her better range.
Yeah. It's a bit sticky sometimes picking up the right lead, but
Okay, so one more this way. Another one of those. Hopefully get a little bit of a cleaner transition up this time. But
She's really
everything the same
unsure.
from you.
yeah.
So engage your back, seat bones plugged in. And you bring those hind leg and suction up the back.
Suction.
Good. Cleaner, yeah?
Yeah.
And she went a little bit hollow. You know, she's working hard here. A little bit of bear down in the front. Good. And then seat bones plugged in. Down into your thighs for the rise of the trot.
That feels quite nice.
Good. It looks nice. Good. You're getting it with the checklist.
Well, I just come down from that transition, I'm like,
That's good. That's a lovely trot, yeah?
yeah.
Okay, let's have a walk. Do a nice walk transition. Plug your seat bones in. Stop the hind leg. Good.
Yeah.
And I think we're cooked there.
Yeah.
You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, give her a long rein and walk and we'll just talk through. So what for you would be the main things that you're going to be able to go away and remember to think about? Or your biggest things?
Thigh on core and just feeling those actual tummy muscles rather than just hollowing out a little bit and just puffing my chest out.
Yeah, so back is the
definitely.
biggest one
Yeah.
for me, and then engaging your core
Yeah.
once you've got your back on. Because if you just do your front without switching your back on, you're going to go even more hollow and just push out the front.
Yeah.
So it's definitely that.
Yeah. And then hopefully I'll feel really unbalanced, like all of those together.
All of them.
And her being a little bit unbalanced with it all and carrying her. It's the combination of this is bloody hard work.
Yeah. You can tell that she's working hard in a different way because you can see her little
Brains
mind
working,
going. She's
yeah.
like, oh God, I'm carrying you. And
I like that, thank you.
yeah. Cool.
You're warm, madam.
Yeah. Well done, Kay. I've got some photos here if you want a photo.
Thank you, cameraman.